Hi guys, so today you guys were given something like this, plastic, expensive, but you're trying to figure out how to use it and how to start it and what you can do with it. So hopefully after watching this short little video introduction to it, you'll be able to get the gist or the basic information about it and get you ready to use it in the classroom. Okay, so this is the iPad that most of you will have. It has a black plastic cover. This protects it so that if you drop it, it won't break. Don't drop it. The leg here will allow you to stand up on its side, stand it up on end so you can actually watch it horizontally or vertically. It's up to your preference. Once you're done, you can actually fold the leg away and you're ready to play with other things. The button that is right here will turn on your iPad, which will bring you to the splash screen. From here, you will be able to unlock your screen and access the iPad. This is for security purposes. When you set up your iPad and you connect it to Outlook, you will be required to put a password on here to lock your iPad so that nobody else can access it. This, again, is for security purposes and allows your iPad to be left alone. After you have unlocked your iPad, you will see a whole bunch of icons that will appear on the screen. Each one of them is basically like a separate site that allows you to do different things with that site. Depending on the apps that you have downloaded onto your iPad, you will be able to do different things with those apps. If you connect it to your Outlook or to your email, you will have your calendar and everything else like that accessible to you at all times. The home button can be used to return you back to the home screen once you are done with the application itself. Now you're back to the home screen. You can actually move back and forth to see all the apps and everything else like that you might have on there. Each one of the little icons that you find on the screen represent a different application. So each one of these little things will do different things. When you hold on to them for a long period of time, they will start to dance. This allows you to change them from one screen to the other so you can reorganize your apps and find them where you want them or put them in an orderly fashion in whichever way you like. As you can see, there are a whole bunch of different combinations. You can make the screen whichever way you want, because every single time that you drag it to the right, it will change the screen. While the icons are dancing, you can actually group them together. All you have to do is drag one on top of the other and it will create a folder. If you don't like that folder, just drag it out and your icon will be back on the main screen. Doing this will allow you to organize all your icons in the way that you like. Hitting the home button will release the icons again and you will be back to the home screen. You can actually take pictures of what is actually being presented on the screen by holding the power button and the home button at the same time. This will take a picture of whatever is on your screen and it will appear in your photos area. Now all you have to do is go back to your pictures, find your picture, selecting it, and you will see an actual picture of the screen that you just took. Holding the home button again will take you back to the home screen. You can see you are back on the home screen. If you rotate your iPad to the left or to the right, it will actually change to that format. So it will go from landscape to horizontal. But all you have to do is just flip it around. The next thing we're going to cover is the buttons on the side. The top one will allow you to mute your speakers by sliding it up or sliding it down to unmute. The up and down buttons that you have, the slider buttons, those will control the volume on your iPad. So up makes it louder, down makes it lower. You can select that at any time. Those buttons are useful, but again, the home button is the most important one. On the dock station or the dock area, you can add up to 6 icons that will allow you to access those apps quickly and anytime that you hit the home button. The last thing that I will show you is the settings area, and the most important setting being the Wi-Fi. You need to make sure that you have selected the student one-to-one and not the guest network, because if you're on the guest network, the Apple TVs will not project what you have on your screen. Now we're going to focus on the left-hand side. The left-hand side holds all the preferences as well as all the apps that you have on your iPad. By clicking any of those, it will open up that iPad or that app. You can also change things like your screen brightness, and this is one thing I'm going to show you. Again, just play around with it and you'll be able to figure out different ways of doing things. Easy way for this, if you want your screen brighter, you just scroll to the right-hand side. Now, if I wanted to change the picture on the background, all I have to do is click on that, and then it'll take me either to wallpaper or to the screen or lock screen. If I click on this icon, it will allow me to set it for both the lock screen as well as the background screen. I hit the home button again, and then it has set it. By me hitting the power button, it will put it into sleep mode. Hitting it again will wake it up. And again, once we slide the bar over, it will require you to put in your password. That's basically how you would use your iPad to get it started. Let's have a quick review of all the buttons so you can actually find where they're at. The home button, your speaker and lock screen on the side, and your power button is at the top. I hope that after watching this video you are more comfortable and are willing to play around with the iPad. The more that you try to do different things with it, the more comfortable you will become, and the easier it will be for you to use it in the classroom, as we hope in the future.
If you're familiar with taking screenshots on an iPhone, you'll find that the same applies here. Simply hold down the home button and hit the power button. This will capture an image of whatever's on the screen. When you display the lock screen, you'll notice a picture icon in the lower right corner. Hitting it will present a slideshow, your iPad displaying every photo you have on it. While there are 4 apps preloaded in the dock, you can actually add up to 6 in it. Simply press and hold down any app and drag it to the dock. Just double tap the home button and press and hold on one app till they all start shaking on the screen. Tap the red circle in the running apps to close them. If you accidentally hit the home button when using an app, you can avoid shutting it down by continuing to hold down the home button. Do it long enough and your iPad will forget about closing the app you've loaded up. If you want to protect your data, you can after 10 failed passcode entry attempts. In settings in general, go to passcode lock and check erase data. Sometimes you want to work without any distractions, and the side switch does just that. If you go into Settings, General, you can set the switch to lock in either portrait or landscape mode. While the search engine is set to Google by default, you can change it to either Yahoo or Bing if you wish. In Settings, go to Safari and then Search Engine. If there are other people using your iPad regularly and you want to limit the content that they can access, go to General, then Restrictions, and enable them to select what apps can be accessed. If a numerical password isn't strong enough, you can make it more complex. In Settings, go to General and then Password Lock and turn off Simple Password. You'll then be prompted to enter your old and new password. If you write certain phrases regularly, you can create custom shortcuts to save time. In Settings, go to General, then Keyboard, and then Add New Shortcut. Here you can create your own shortcut phrases. If you turn multitasking gestures on in General Settings, this will allow you to use 4 or 5 fingers to swipe left and right between apps, swipe up to reveal the multitasking bar, and pinch your way back to the home screen. If you want the search function in your iPad to be faster and more focused, you can set it so that only specific apps or details appear. Go to Settings, then General, and select Spotlight Search. Here you can choose what appears the next time you search. In Google Maps, you may have noticed a dog-eared page icon on the lower right corner. Press it and it turns the traffic overlay on. You'll be able to see how quickly traffic is moving, green meaning it's going at a regular speed, and orange and red showing if it's going slower than expected. If you come across a word you don't understand, select it by touching and holding it, then tap Define or Dictionary. On the keyboard, swiping up the comma key quickly will insert an apostrophe, and swiping up the full stop key inserts a quotation mark. Also, holding down a key will bring up accented versions of that character. Pressing spacebar twice will do a full stop and then a space. Instead of going into the iPad's music player, you can immediately access it by double tapping the home button and swiping it to the right. You'll find a mini music player where you can play the current track, as well as adjusting the volume and screen brightness.